We got to do all we can to help have affordable housing.
Welcome to Saguache County Stories, a podcast of the Northern Saguache County Library District, where we explore the evolution and history of the land and people of the northern San Luis Valley of Colorado. I'm Sarah Kane Fry, Director of the Northern Saguache County Library District. In this episode, local resident May Folsom shares her story on the theme of finding home. In our Finding Home series, folks talk about their housing journey in the San Luis Valley.
My name is May Folsom. I live in the Cavey Estates, 71. My significant other at the time, let's just put it that way, moved to Salida from Washington, and we were looking around there for a place, and being new, a lot of stuff was a little more than what we wanted, because we weren't real settled with jobs and such. I mean, we had some money to buy with, but got to have those jobs, when you're going to buy. So we looked around that area and then saw an ad in the paper for a mobile home on an acre. So we came to the valley, and when I came over Pancha Pass, the tears started rolling. There was something about I was home. So that's where it all started. That was in probably 98, and then we did end up buying that house in the Cavey very end of 99, so right at 2000. Been there ever since. I mean, I did leave for a while, but you get drawn back to the valley somehow. That's pretty hard to describe. I think it was an energy in the valley, and I think being able to buy an acre of land and it was an older mobile home, and the potential of fixing it up, because kind of like to do that thing anyway. So everything was just kind of there. It felt right, one of those feelings. Fixed it up well enough, to live in it, because it needed all new water lines. Because when we hooked up, no water. Had to, replumb the whole thing in January, 22 years ago. 14 degrees, daytime high. But, it felt difficult at the time, but you always have that satisfaction when you get something completed. And we, made the house nice, and then I was gone for quite a while, about 7 years, and house sat there, and then came back and been working on it ever since. Been back about 4 years. I'm just delighted to be there. I wasn't coming back, but I'm here. You get put where you belong. Oh, alternative building, I would love to see more of it and be a part of it. I'll go back a bit. While I was living there, about 2005, 6, my father had passed away, and so I got an inheritance. And what I did is I bought lots in the Cavey, and I brought in 2 big double-wide mobile homes, and hoping, to sell them to people for a reasonable price so they could have a place to live. And I did. Sometimes I sold them twice, but, I had to take them back because, things happen. And but I bought lots, and I would put the water on so people at least have water, and would sell the lots, and and some without, but I just tried to help the community with housing at that time, and I did buy a couple others that already existed and fix them up, and provided nice housing for people. So it just was the right thing to do, I could have taken all that money and spend it on myself, as we can do. But I just felt that, it served 2 purposes. I was helping people, have a house that they could afford. And then also I sold them on a contract, noted deed of trust and the warranty deed and all that good stuff. And they would pay me, and so I was a banker, and knowing headed for retirement, it just added to my retirement. But I'd like to do it again. I really would, but using alternative methods. I've been looking at a lot of stuff, so it still needs a lot of work. I still need to work on it. I mean, it's an old mobile home and added on, and it just needs, about every room needs a little finishing. I'd like to get it done at some point, but life happens and you don't get to it when you think you're going to. So it'll come. Well, I'm president of the KVHOA, and with that, I'm hoping to make it a better place, and not just me, the whole board. And that we are working together to make it better. I mean, there's just been years and years and years of neglect there, and we're picking up the pieces and putting it back together. So, and that one thing I wanted to do is, if a lot sold, we have some lots of KV, and when they get sold, but to sell them, add to the price of what the base price would be, and add to that the water tap fee. So that way when they buy, and if they put a down payment and monthly payments, they have water. They can do something. There's been so many sold out there without the water, but water's right there. The whole place there has water. There's a whole water system. Prices are reasonable, and we just need the builders to build. I understand there's... People call the KV lots of names and things and such, but there's such an opportunity there. I mean, it's mind-boggling to me when we have Chaffee County, Park County, even areas in Del Norte, expensive homes, and not a lot of, homes that people can afford. I mean, there's people out there that live in things that we all should be ashamed of, their conditions, Not only in the KV, but Mineral Hot Springs to the north of us, Not right. This country shouldn't be like that at all. But we got to do something to help. We really do. Oh my goodness. It was established, pretty much in 73. There's 3 phases, but 2 of them, I think, close to that time, the 3rd one later on. It was originally for a retirement community, but, if you're going to do a retirement community way out in the middle of nowhere, you need hospitals and you need health care and all that, and there just wasn't. So it didn't go over that way. And then it was really, they sold a lot of the properties to military people, like in Hawaii, and I don't know where else they went, and basically a big scam, and that energy is still there, and as the, people that were president before and for years, they didn't care. They just would do what they wanted and took what they wanted, and I mean, to one president, they would take the money for the water tap. If someone pays you $3,500 for a water tap, you will put that in. He wouldn't, even for like a year. There was a family out there that had paid for water, probably live in a little cabin and no water. And he did it just because he could, which was awful. I mean, I don't get that mentality to abuse other human beings like that. We got enough of that. We got to change that. And we got to do all we can to help have affordable housing and help out these people. I mean, we haven't seen anything yet, what I think is going to be happening. So we got to be ready to provide housing. Otherwise, they're going to be squatting everywhere. It's laziness. I just think our world is in a tough spot right now, and I think we have enough wealth that, we can find resources and we can help people instead of beat them down, and which has happened, and we got to do all that we can to help. I'd like to share now about the time I've been at the KV, I was gone for maybe 7 years, but I came back, several times a year and hung out for a while. But when I first was there, the home was definitely a fixer-upper, and worked on that and got it, in pretty good shape. And the community was small then. There wasn't that many people in the community. And, as time went on, more people would move in, or they had the land there and then they moved in, got a home and double wired. And then there was some other people doing what I did, put homes on, and they would sell those. So, it was growing so slowly. And then marijuana hit, and people... Actually, what happened is, one thing that's been really kind of harmful to the KV is all these people that bought, a long time ago, 70s and 80s and 90s, paid way too much money for the lots. And it was just a lot, an acre of ground, plus, it's just each lot is an acre and a little bit more. And then they didn't pay on the lot, didn't pay the taxes and everything, or maybe they paid cash for the lot but wouldn't pay the taxes. So the county took back all kinds of lots in the KV, and then they would sell them. Well, then when marijuana came about, so there would be people all over the country, like land companies, would buy up those lots from the county, advertise them as, oh, you can grow marijuana there. So we lost a lot of control then of the HOA, because they wouldn't tell them they'd be in an HOA. Oh, you're in an HOA. Oh, all the stuff that goes along with that. And so it got pretty messy, but it could have been corrected. Just like our bylaws and covenants have never been changed. Never. This time. And we have to do it, because it's coming up, because you can change them every 10 years. So it's coming up, and we have to change that. So we really need to have, better regulations. There's some things I'd like to see is, maybe not everybody, but we probably have to vote on it, but have an area for tiny homes. I think it'd be really fantastic, to have that. So we've gone through such a transition, with the marijuana and people just kind of doing what they wanted. It's known as the Wild Wild West out there. But we're trying, not that we want controls, that you can't do this. And that's kind of before what happened. Oh, well, you can't do that. You can't, and would harass people, Would like to bring the community together and, we figure out really what we want. Because we have 3 sections there, and we could have different rules for those sections if we wanted to. So like section, the filing 3, we call it, is where there's lots of marijuana grows. Then we adjust and, and work with the county, and, they work with us. And so we get along, and we can provide housing, and, if people want to grow and do it the right way, the way the county wants, and the state, and, the federal government might stir a little, because if you grow too many, you're going to get busted. So, but it's just, main thing is community, getting along, and moving forward. That's the biggest thing for me. And I know for the board as well. Thank you.
You've been listening to Saguache County Stories. Thank you to our guest, May Folsom, for sharing her story. This podcast is made possible in part through a generous Saguache County sales tax grant. Our music was created and performed by Lydia Schultz-Sprouts and Rob Treefort with Golden Turtle Sound. If you would like to share your story, have questions, or would like to reserve your spot at an interview event, email Eden. She can be reached at edenelderberry@nsclibrarydistrict.org, or you can call the Saguache Public Library at 719-655-2551. For new episodes, to read our blog, or to watch our YouTube channel, check out the Northern Saguache County Library District website, nscld.colibraries.org.